Hi there, 8th graders. Lesson 32 is probability. Alright, your objectives are to calculate the probability of an event as a ratio of the number of favorable outcomes to the total number of possible outcomes. Then it is to convert a probability expressed as a ratio to a chance expressed as a percent. Express the odds of a particular event as the ratio of favorable to unfavorable outcome. Understand how the probabilities of an event is complements are related. Distinguish between experimental and theoretical probability. Okay, at this point you can do your power up. At this point I'm going to move on, so please freeze if you're going to do so, or pause. Alright, probability is the likelihood that a particular event will occur. Okay, sample space is collecting all of the possible outcomes, and we will do that today. We'll do the probability, obviously. Odds is the ratio of number of favorable to unfavorable outcomes, and is often expressed with a colon. Chance is often referred to in a percent when working with probability. Complement is a set of outcomes in the sample space that are included in the event. Alright, theoretical probability is found by analyzing a situation. This would be like if you're taking the time to do some research on it, studying it. Experimental probability is going to be determined statistically. You're going to do tests on it. You're going to see if it works out or not. Okay, so probability, range of probability. 0 is probably impossible. Well, it is impossible. There's zero chance of it happening. Unlikely is going to be between 0 and 1/2 because you're still below 50% chance at it. 1/2 is probably, 50-50. There's kind of a chance of both. Likely is anything above 50% or 1/2 probability, and between 1. 1 is certain because it's like 100% chance it is going to happen. Probability is a ratio of favorable outcomes to the possible outcomes. P events, the number of favorable outcomes over the number of possible outcomes is your example of what it should look like. So, right here, we have a spinner shown at the right is spun once. What is the probability the spinner will stop in section A? Well, section A, we're looking at probability. So, there's only one section we can land in. That's my favorable. Out of my total possibilities, there's 4. So, it'd be a 1 to 4. In section A or B, well, that gives me 2 sections. And I still have the 4 different spots I can land, which is a 1 to 2, because I can reduce that. Okay? And then you have in sections A, B, and C, there's a chance of it happening 4 of them. There's only 4 to choose. So that's going to be 1 over 1, which is equal to 1, which is certain that it will happen. Okay, now, in example 2, if the spinner at the right is spun once, what is the odds the spinner will stop in section A? Well, odds are a little bit different because odds you're going to have the one you want, semicolon, and your other possibilities. So this is a 1 in 3 odds. Okay? Okay, example 3. The spinner in example 1 is spun twice now. Predict is the probability of spinning a more likely with 1 spin or with 2. Well, with 1 spin, if you recall, we said it was 1 in 4, right? We're going back to probability, not odds. So it's favorable over total possibility. All right, now we have to do this. So we have AA. We have A, B. We have the possibility of getting A on my first spin, C on my second one, and A, D. We have a possibility of getting B, A. We have a possibility of getting B, 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 C, and B, D. We have C, A, C, B, C, 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 D, and we have D, A, D, B, D, C, not B, D. Alright, and D, D. Okay, so this is all my possibilities. This is making my list. Trying to go vocabulary-wise, sample space, as I recall. Yes, this is a sample space. Alright, so now we have all the possibilities. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll work. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 options. So we have a 7 out of 16. That one we have 1 and 1/4. So which one would it be? I would say for A, it's probably 2 spins. Okay? On B, it says what is the probability of getting A at least once? Would be 7 over 16. Alright, C says find the probability of not getting A at least once. Okay, so really it's just getting rid of these. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 without A in it at all, and we're still going to have out of our 16. You could have also took 7 minus 16 and found the rest of your results that possibly could take place. Okay, example 4. Nathan flips a coin 3 times. Alright? So we're going to have to make another sample space, probably to make this the easiest. Alright? So what is more likely to happen? He will get heads will get heads at least once, or he will not get heads at least once. So, we're going to go heads, heads, heads. All 3 times I got heads. I got head, tails, head. I got heads, head, tail. And I got heads, tail, tail. I got tail, tail, tail. I got tail, heads, tail. I got tail, heads, head. And I ended up getting heads, or tails, tails, heads. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 options. We're still working with probability, that's my total. Okay, it says at least once. Got heads, got heads, got heads, got heads, got heads, got heads, got heads. I'd say I got 7 out of 8 chance of getting at least 1 head. Leaves me with 1 out of 8 that does not have at least 1. So here is B, here is C, and A is going to be getting heads at least once. Okay. Okay, Emily is a softball player who has 21 hits in 60 at-bats. Express the probability that Emily will get a hit in her next at-bat as a decimal number with 3 decimal places. Emily's coach needs to decide whether to have Emily bat or to use a substitute hitter, which is called a pinch hitter, whose batting average is 300. Batting averages are usually expressed without a 0 in the ones place. How would you advise the coach? Alright, so we gotta kind of find her batting percentage. Which, if you remember, that is pretty much her chance of getting a hit. Because we talked about chance is percent in probability. So we're going to take 21 divided by 60. Okay, it goes in there. We're going to have to put a decimal, and this will give me a 0. Alright, so behind my decimal, it's going to go in there 3 because that would be 180. That would leave me 30 left. That should go in there 5 times, which is 300, which gives me 0, which means this is going to be 0 times, which means she's batting about a 300 or 350 average is what they call it. At a 350 average, she's batting better than 300, so I would advise the coach, let Emily hit. Or let Emily, I should say, bat. That should be your advice for a coach today. Okay. Okay, do the written practice. That is your, and you can ask on that, like I said, make sure it's on your homework though. And there is your homework.